Ba-dum. All right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Cucumber New Contributors Ensemble. I'm Matt Wynn. I'm here in Nelson, BC, and I'm joined by Blaise Pabon in... Oh, where is it? Massachusetts. Where is it? Where is it? What's it called? I've forgotten. You told me last week. Franklin. And Kate Dames all the way down in South Africa, Cape Town. Are you in the city or in the suburbs? Are you like, is it like a 5-minute walk from the shops?
And now I'm a 5-minute walk to the beach. I'm on the West Coast.
Oh my God.
So it's a little bit more, it feels like I'm permanently on holiday.
That's great.
Surfers and yeah, I love it. The mountain, the surfers, the ocean, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You can come and visit and see.
I'd love to. So let's remind ourselves why we're here, right? In 2017, GitHub surveyed over 10,000 open source contributors, and just 3% of them were women. We believe that our open source communities will be stronger, more vibrant, and more effective if they are a more balanced representation of all the world's wonderful people. And open source can provide huge benefits to people who participate, and we want those benefits to be available to everyone. But people need a place to start. So we hold this session each week for anyone who is new to contributing to open source, especially people from groups who've been historically underrepresented in open source communities. And our goal is to provide a fun and welcoming environment where everyone can learn why and how to contribute to open source. And we use an ensemble programming format for these sessions, which means everyone who wants to get a go at the keyboard gets to take a turn. And as we do that, we follow these principles. Safety over comfort. We aim for an environment where everyone can bring their whole self and express their needs fully, even if that isn't always comfortable for us to talk about. Equity over efficiency. While it might seem faster to have the most experienced people do the work, we're here to give space to people who've traditionally been excluded from open source. And
that would be me.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, that worked out well. We used this guideline last week, didn't we, I think?
Yep.
To remind ourselves of that one. An exploration over perfection. We're here to learn, so we're always discovering new ways to do things, and we embrace experimentation and accept that what we do can never be perfect. Oh, I've gone blurry. Isn't that weird? Come back, camera.
Cool.
Come back.
Yeah.
This camera's got like an autofocus on it, and it just loses. If I bob and weave too much, it gets confused. All right, that's why we're here. So what are we going to do this week? Shall I bring up the mob timer onto the screen, and we can write some goals in it? I've just full screen zoom on the broadcast. Let me bring it back. Yeah, so
design the interface to the GitHub port.
Yeah, that's what I wrote in Slack, isn't it? So
yes.
We're going to go through those to-dos. So I'll write that down. And I think that's probably a good goal for the whole thing, really, is for the whole session today. Is just to do, just the session today is just to do that. Shall I explain a bit what I mean by ports and all that stuff?
Yes, that would be cool.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe what I'll do is I'll grab Miro and bring it onto the screen.
Yes, I like Miro.
And
find a place
I'm gonna kind of
draw pictures.
Yeah, because this is an important concept. In BDD, it's an important concept, but it's kind of it's not exact. It's related to BDD in that it's really an important concept in software design generally, I think, and TDD and BDD just kind of are good ways of applying software design. So if we think about I'm going to just draw down here, right? Here's our core.
I posted the link in the chat, Blaise. You're not on the board.
Thank you.
I can also share my screen, Blaise, if you want to just watch what I'm doing.
Maybe would that be a benefit for the audience?
Well, they can see I've got the window open anyway, so it's broadcast.
Either way, I'll go into the doc.
So I've got a bunch of stuff on my screen, but I'll try and make the drawing stuff bigger for now. So if we think about this kind of the bit in the middle, so the main thing that we've got in this code base is a function called retire inactive contributors, right? Retire. And that's like the heart of the whole thing. But in order for it to do its work through the scenario, we've identified a couple of places where it needs to call out to GitHub and do some interacting with the outside world. So if we think about there's a kind of a bubble around the outside of this thingy. Whoops! I don't want that one to have I want that one to have a clear background and a thicker line around it. There we go. And this is that. So this is our function just sitting in a nice bubble of just JavaScript. It doesn't know anything about the outside world, but it's going to have to connect to the outside world to do some things like, for example, if we go to the steps and we find one of our to-dos that we identified last week, we're going to have to create an organization, right? Like that's one of the things we're going to have to do. So let's draw GitHub over here.
Yes, this is the language that I understand. Pictures.
I'll just turn that blue. In fact, let's turn that a different color. Are you doing it, Kate? You gonna make it a color?
The text is white.
Yeah, that's why I was just gonna make the background blue, just to illustrate.
Oh, okay. Do you want to make the background
Whatever.
blue?
It's all good. So one of the things that we're going to do when we call this thing is we're going to want to know that's not a very good arrow either. It's got a bit fiddly, hasn't it? I want a nice thick line. I want to add some text. Let me add some text.
So I guess you are going to say that you want to create an organization.
Yeah, because that's the first to do that we've got here is create an organization. And that's actually just something we need to do for testing. Why won't it let me write? Mira's normally really nice and easy to use, and it's being fiddly today. Let me get rid
Probably
of this
because
box.
they upgraded.
Oh, really?
No, I think they upgrade regularly,
Oh, I see.
but problems usually start happening when you start scaling, because then you've got a bunch of people working on different parts and it just gets messy.
Oh yeah, look, it's tiny. It's right down there.
Oh, look at
So I
that.
need to go much bigger font. I've just ended up doing a really massive. These boxes are really massive, I think, is the problem.
Oh,
So it's all sort of
I
out of
see.
scale.
You might have created them at the wrong scale.
Yeah.
But it should be intelligent enough to know that.
You would think so.
Well, so yes, except the funny thing about type is that it tends to use an absolute.
Why? Because it really sucks.
Well, it's the points.
On an infinite canvas.
I understand that. What I'm saying is that traditionally it was made out of lead, and they poured them into certain molds of a certain size. And so that's where the whole points...
But you don't use that anymore. You use REMs and EMs more these days, which is also relative. Although you do hook it to a BX.
This is super annoying. It's actually being really buggy. Anyway, point is...
clear your cache.
Oh, look, there we go. So it's made it, like, off on the side.
You may want to clear your cache.
Yeah, or reboot my browser, maybe. I don't know. But the point is, we're going to have we're going to have these different calls out to GitHub. So there's one to create an org. What's the next one? Ensure a user exists, ensure a team exists, add user to team. So
yeah, I think if we run the tests, it prints out a list of to-dos.
yeah. And these
That's
actions,
a good idea.
These actions,
Yes.
when the thing runs for real in production, we don't need all of these because some of these are just for testing, right?
Right.
Like there already will be an organization. So some of these are for test setup, and that's why we need them. And then some of them are going to be for real interactions with GitHub. Like we're going to need to look up, when was the user's last commit, right? So that might be another line that we could add.
Yeah, I tried to draw you an arrow while you.
Thank you.
But I think you're better than I am with
Can it have text on it? Well, it's got some
I tried,
teeny
but...
tiny text right down there, and you have to go up, like that. So what would say another one be? Date of last commit by user. Right, and we want
That one doesn't make sense because the others have a verb and a noun. This one doesn't have a verb.
Well, it's because this is a query rather than a command. So this is just a question rather than...
request
So we could say...
last commit.
Yeah.
Well, there's...
So there's going to be various questions getting asked, right? But the thing is, when we run the tests, we don't want to actually go to GitHub and do these things, right? We don't want to actually call GitHub's API and create an organization. I'm not even sure if you can do that through GitHub's API. But we want to simulate talking to GitHub in enough of a way that when we then run this function for real, we can swap in something that really does talk to GitHub so there's two different kinds of calls, right? So I was trying to move this one down out of the way so it would be, because let's break GitHub into 2 bits. Let's go GitHub for testing, and then GitHub
production
for production. And actually, create an org and add users to team, we only need to be able to do for testing, but request date of last commit by user is something that we're going to need in the function, right? We're going to really need to know when did the user last make a commit. We're also actually probably add user to team is something we're going to need to be able to do, right? Because we're going to need to move them into the
but we first want to make sure it works
team
before we do it. So we probably want to test it as well.
Right. And so, but the thing is, so we can kind of think about...
And we want to create a team.
Yeah. And create users and so on. So I think we can get into doing this for real now. But what I wanted to do is just kind of get your minds around this idea that what we're going to do is we're going to build an interface here. So I'll just sort of draw it as a blob on top and I'll make it a different color. We're going to build an interface here that defines the way that we want to be able to talk to GitHub. And we'll make it an awful lot like the OctoKit library, because that's the API that you use for talking to GitHub. So if we want to ask it for, I don't know if we've got it, if it's got a full guide in here, we will have to go to the documentation. But we can, there we go. So we can go through here and query for, like, what users are on a team, what's the last commit by this user, and so on. So we'll be able to plug in that for our real implementation of GitHub. But we're going to want to use a fake one for now, that works with this GitHub for testing interface, but there's kind of two interfaces. So in TypeScript, we can probably define two interfaces, and we can build little stubs of these for now. And then later, we'll swap the bit that sits behind this interface for OctoKit so that we can actually run this function for real against a real organization.
Oh, wow. It's exciting.
Because this thing about like, some people call it service virtualization. So we're going to like, GitHub is a service that our little application is using, and we're gonna simulate it. Or you could just think about it as stubbing out a dependency. But it's really important to isolate your code when you run it under test from these external services, because if you have your code's tests, depending on the reliability, whether they pass or not, depending on whether or not GitHub is up today. And you imagine this is like you're in an enterprise and your team's code is running its tests, and your tests are integrating with some other service that's built by a team that work down the hall, and their test server's down, and now all your tests start failing. It's a really kind of unreliable situation to be in. So it's much better to try and isolate your tests. So that's how we do it. We use this. And the metaphor of a hexagon is really just because the first time Alistair Coburn drew this on a whiteboard, he drew like a hexagon around this like inner bit, the core. We call this the core domain, this bit here that I could draw another bubble around now. I don't know if they have a hexagon shape in here, do they?
They will.
Oh,
Give me one. Come on.
It's probably in the
There we
extended.
go.
There we go.
Beautiful. Yeah. Right. So we can put the hexagon around this bit because this is our inner. This is our kind of core domain bit, and I'll turn the color off so it's not shading it. There you go.
I've seen that hexagon. Now, this is similar but different from mocks, right? Mocking.
Well, no, we're going to build a fake, a test double of GitHub.
Great.
Oh wait,
Okay.
shut up. Skip completely. Yeah, we're going to build a test double of GitHub. There's a kind of technical semantic difference between mocks and stubs, and fakes is
just
a kind of
beginning
like a
or
good
end. Yeah.
kind of a good generalization of the term. But I mean, yeah, to all intents and purposes, what we're building today is going to be like a mock GitHub. Yeah. All right, should we get started?
Yeah.
Any questions?
Yes.
What other questions have you got about that?
Why didn't we start with this like before we started writing anything?
Well, because I think it's better to focus on the behavior first. This is the technical implementation of the behavior that we're going to need. But what we had to do first was decide what was the thing even going to do. So we've worked our way down now to the point where we've got to build this, so we need to do the design. And I think it's always good to try and leave... You have to do this kind of design stuff just in time. Like, it's important to do software design. We don't want to just make things up as we go along entirely. So we're not going to bumble our way through it in this mobbing session. It's good to draw some pictures, but I think it would have been a bit too much up front. Maybe it would have been too overwhelming to try and think right down to this depth of not only what is it going to do, but how we're going to build it as well. I don't know. We could have done. What do you think?
Well,
I come from the opposite side of the world, I guess, on product. And there, to me, the way I think, I guess, is opposite to the way that programmers think on average. I think high levels. So if I can understand what the behaviors are and how it integrates, and I mean, it doesn't have to be the design of how it's going to be fixed, but what do we want it to do, which to me is the behaviors as well. And then I give it to the programmers, and they then decide on the technical implementation and how to build it.
Yeah. So this would be that part of it, really, the how to build it. But you need to know what it's going to do first before you can.
So the behavior. So this doesn't actually illustrate the behavior, Kate. This is really more. It doesn't. It's just a description of parts, of components.
Of the how. Okay. Yeah.
Of the how, and So what's the behavior is what we were doing earlier, and I think that it's true that if you've never done this before, those of us who have perhaps be more familiar with it, we bring with us a sort of mental context of what the next step is going to look like. And so if this is all revealing itself for the first time, then this orientation, or the sort of plane of coordinates, if you will, might be useful to you. But on a day-to-day basis, you'll quickly, I think, feel more comfortable starting from the narrative, and then.
Yep. But
Okay.
I think I know what you mean with this is the how.
Yeah. So are we ready to get into it? I'm going to bring the screen across so we can see the mob timer on screen as well. So what does it say about who's going first? Blaise, you shall navigate, and Kate, you shall drive. Are we happy with that?
I guess so.
Yes, of course.
Are you able to get into the document? Okay. The code?
The code, not the documents. I guess Matt can do that.
I think that's what you meant, wasn't it, Blaise?
Yes, in VS Code. Are you?
I'm in VS Code, yes.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Do you want to say, I will say, follow me?
I'm going to follow you.
Did I do that?
Great. Yes. Now I'm following you. I couldn't see you before.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Perfect. Well done, Kate. Let me know when you're ready to start the timer.
I'm ready.
Have you decided what to do?
I think we're going to go through the. Well, we want to make sure that we've. Do we want to finish all of the to-dos?
Should we not look at our retrospective from last time and run that? Let me just find it. There's a big orange sticky note. Remember to run npm run build and check compile. Oh, that's only before commit. Okay, never mind.
I think that what we want to do now is turn these to-dos into calls to a GitHub. So what we want to have is an instance of GitHub that we can call, and then we're going to try and call methods on it, and we could throw that in just at the top up here.
Okay.
Well, maybe I'll just do a little bit.
Yeah, I've not.
This is where the let's say we've got
you have to like
a class which we'll call fake GitHub.
Okay.
And then we've got a before hook, which takes a function and we're going to need to import before, and then we can do this dot GitHub equals new fake GitHub. All right, and then that should mean that we can also do, like say here, this dot GitHub. All right, now we're not getting typing, which we could fix. So I'll say type world equals. Sorry, Kate, I know.
No, it's fine.
Fake GitHub?
Which we'll say is an instance of fake GitHub for now. And then when we do our thingies here, we can say this is a world.
Oh.
And then that should give us typing. So if we do this dot GitHub, great. Okay. So I'm thinking that we can do things like this dot GitHub dot create org organization.
Oh, fabulous.
Okay.
Right.
We can do things like that. And you see how it's highlighted in red. We can then say declare method create org, and that does it up there. And that's we're now like a step further on, right? We've turned the to-dos into calls against a real API. So I suggest that's what we do, is we kind of work our way down, turning the to-dos into these. And we could even, like, what we could even do actually is move the to-do. So if we create the method, we could move the to-do into here, right? Because we've still got to do it, but we're like a step further down. Okay.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Right, my hands are off the keyboard.
Okay, so then I suppose we can go down to the next one. So we would need to then add functions for before, given, when, then, right? For all of those, for each of those.
Everywhere there's a to-do. Everywhere there's a to-do.
Oh, okay, great.
So
So
ignore the ones where we haven't written a to-do, because those are the ones where the steps are implemented for scenarios that we've not got.
oh, I see.
We're
Okay.
not focused on yet. So
let's do a search for the next to do.
Okay.
Probably further down in the, there we go.
This
See?
one, I
Given?
guess.
Yeah.
This is a test, though. This one is different. Should we do this one?
Oh, well, no. So sorry. So the part that might be confusing is, so it says they're given
A user.
Ultimately, there are two to-dos there. One is to test for a user, and one is to test for team.
there's three.
Yes.
There's three.
No, three. Sorry.
We need to ensure there's a user, we need to ensure there's a team, and we need to add. Then once we've ensured that, we need to add the user to the team.
Right. Okay. So then we would need to do a. So then we want to go up to. I guess we can do the first one, where in our fake GitHub method, we would want to do a.
Create user?
Yes, create user and create team. Oh, sorry, if you could just backspace. It didn't know, we don't want to create a secure server. So we want to say.
What did I do there?
It's all right. It suggested it autocorrected.
User. Oh,
Create user, yeah. And then
no, I didn't say yes. Listen to me, damn it. These computers these days.
Create user and then just do parentheses. If you type a paren, yeah, perfect. And then in there, you can, and then it would be user colon string. Go back a bit. It's actually string, not strong. User colon, and then put a space.
My computer doesn't want me to do this.
It's
yeah.
User space string.
User space string like that.
Yeah, perfect.
But it's still not green because it's not used yet.
Well, no, it's all right. It's because we've got some more stuff to write.
And
so,
is this in the right place, or should this curly bracket end here?
Yeah, it's ended up down on line 17. You got two now on 16 and 17. You
but that's fine. I just want to fix it as I go along because I want to copy these 2 times and delete the contents. Is that okay?
If you like, yeah. That's just for reference. We're not gonna actually consume that. We'll end up deleting it anyway. But yeah, if you want to do it.
The user, so this one will become team. And this one will
exactly.
I don't know what.
Well, that last one's going to be add user to team, isn't it?
Add user. Add to team. So instead of create user, we'll say add user to team. Is the third function.
So this one should be team.
Yeah.
Right. Correct.
And this one should be add user to team, or
yeah, perfect. That's fine.
Then
and then we'll have
user
two arguments.
and team.
User, and then put a comma after string. And perfect. And then type in team colon space string. Great. And then okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Great, Kate. Great driving.
You're crushing this. You are totally crushing this.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I know the formatting at least.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's coming out nicely. So you now need to call those methods down in the step definition. So like on line 55.
So now I need to basically copy these.
Similar to what we did on line 40.
And this one I can, is this the place? Blaise?
Well, we're going to, yes, the first, right.
Or is
No.
it here? Because
No,
this
no,
one is
sorry.
also...
It's down on line 55. That's
55,
where
that's right.
That's where we're working. And you want to do something that looks similar to line 40.
Yeah. Like that.
Create user, exactly. And then it takes the user. Great. And then you can
And then I'm going to copy this twice and delete these.
Yes. And then just edit the create user to be the create team. And then the next line is add user to team.
Stop doing it. Create, add user to team. And here it is user and team. Is that right?
That's beautiful. You are a natural.
So should we run the test?
I agree,
Because
yes.
Matt would have said we would have to start with that.
I think we're at a good point to at least find out. Yeah, exactly. So please, yeah.
Do you have access to the console? I wonder if I need to make it read write.
Nope, cannot edit, read, only terminal. Request, read, write. I press the button. You should receive a request.
Done.
Focus terminal. Okay, I've done it. NP, npm test.
Yeah.
And now it's just going to say error.
Ooh.
Oh dear.
All right.
I saw this before. So there's some sort of a mistake in the package JSON. I don't know how it's ended up. It's got a comma in here. Something's added a keyword into the...
Yep.
So if we remove that comma, try it again.
That looks better.
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous.
Oh, look at that. We've got a green tick.
We've got a lot of green ticks. That's really great.
Now, we're not running the whip one, are we? That's what we were going to do, remember? So we were going to do npm test whip, and then we just focus on the one that we're...
That's true. So
okay,
if you want...
npm test whip.
Is it colon?
Oh, yeah, I think it is.
Let's see. Nope, it's not that.
npm run test whip.
Yes.
This is very nice.
One passed.
Wow.
6 passed. We are so good.
Really
You can have an Easter egg.
Yes, this is great. And we have a list of things that we still need to do. We have to create a norm. Oh, wait a second.
What's the timer? The timer is up.
Okay.
So now I'm going to navigate. I'm going to tell you what to do, Matt.
Okay.
This is my revenge.
Well, we can collaborate on telling him what to do.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to have a go first?
No. When I meant collaborate is I can suggest to you and you can command Matt.
I like together. It.
All right, where do you want me to go first?
My 5 minutes of fame. I want you to go to the to-do and find the next to-do. And then...
create a commit.
Yes, that one. So we need to, and Blaise, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but we need to do something similar. So we need to create days ago as a...
I think what we want is
this
like this
GitHub days ago.
Create commit. And then we need to know who it was.
What about the days ago?
Oh, actually, we can do.
It says there.
We're not creating a commit. We're getting the commit date.
A function.
No, this says given the create date of their last commit. So this is still a setup. Oh. This is still a test setup type thing.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Create commit. We need.
Don't we need to do this like that you sent through days ago and then you receive it back?
Yeah, well, so basically
and
you have
with
to ask...
the username, because if you don't know the username,
Right.
And the team?
Right. So no, you don't need the team. Well, you don't
No,
need.
Would you want to do
team.
2
Actually,
calls?
But we would kind of like to know who the user is.
so
Definitely.
we would take that as an argument.
Yeah,
Yes.
the
Right.
thing is we've said there here, so we don't quite know who they are right now. We can work around this, and I think we
Okay.
probably don't want to confuse ourselves with it. But what we want to do
Yeah.
is we're still in test setup, so we want to tell our fake GitHub to
Yes.
pretend that there's a commit that is,
N days ago.
yeah, aged. Is that a good name?
Commit
Maybe just
age.
create a commit is good.
Mm-mm.
Oh, I see. We wanted to make a commit of. Okay. So
Yeah.
do we want to say make old commit, make recent commit, make
I would say
old commit?
commit age rather, because this is telling me that create commit is I'm going to create a commit, which
Yeah.
might be
But then
confusing for
that's
somebody like
so
me.
we still
Maybe
need to
not.
say what that parameter is though. So
Yes.
what I don't understand is why is it not because I didn't do this is a world.
Oh my
There
God.
we go.
Okay.
And let's do that up here as well.
We have to do that to all of them then. Yeah. Well,
it's optional, right, in TypeScript, but it's a way for you to
That's it.
specify what your this arg is typed as, and it just means that it knows that
I
the
see.
GitHub is an instance of the fake GitHub, which allows us to then do this nice stuff. So I can just come through here. Oh, and I lost my to-do. Whoops. I'm going to go back a bit. So let's go back and add this world again. I'll do it up here.
And then don't you also
then I'm
have to
gonna
go add
keep
some
that.
stuff there right at the top?
Well, if I press here, declare method, can you see this on the screen share? Because you won't see it on your editors if you watch the screen share.
Yes.
If I
Yes,
press Command dot on my Mac, or if it would be pressing on this
Oh,
little
then
thingy,
it will
it
automatically
says
add
declare
it.
method,
Yes, of course.
and then I can press something.
So I did it the hard way around.
Yeah, it does make your life a little bit easier. And then I'm going to paste in the only thing is it's put it at the top, and we've actually been putting all our new methods at the bottom, so let's do that. I'm just going to put space between those as well. So okay, so I think that's we've done that now. We're now around the loop, so let's just run the tests, and it should look the same, right?
Yes.
And shouldn't we remove the to-dos now?
Well, we still need to do them. All we've done is just put a layer of indirection in the way. We still
Right.
need to actually
Okay.
implement this behavior in the fake,
Okay.
and then we'll implement it for real. So I've got 9 seconds left. Oh, we didn't do a commit, did we?
Yes.
Oh, let's do a commit. This is useful because we basically outlined the functions of
We've
this.
still got 3 left to do.
Oh, then
The
Shall we
run
do
the
those
main
and then-
function, and then assert that ASLAC is indeed in committers, and then assert that ASLAC is not in alumni. So we maybe want to do those.
But this is not part of the GitHub fake. This is part of something else.
Well, you're right. Run the main function, I think we'll have to leave for now. But I'd like to do a bit of work in it. So why don't we just keep going for a bit? I'll navigate you, Blaise, and
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Sure.
and then we'll try and do a commit when we've got all the way down, doing all of getting the whole API to the GitHub object would be good, I think.
Okay. So, ta-da! I pressed the button. Go.
Right, let's go, Blaise. So let's search down the file to the next to do, and I'm going to follow you. Following Blaise. Am I following the right Blaise? There's many Blaises in this code base.
Are there really?
Yeah,
That's it says
Maybe
following
it doesn't
that
clean it up.
Okay.
It says.
Well, let's see. So yeah, go down to the.
Sorry, I pressed the wrong button.
Okay.
Press
it's all right.
Blaise. Press the megaphone for me. In
Yes.
the thingy. Thank you. And then yeah, take us
And
down
press-
to the next to do, which should be the one about running the main function. Oh, it's skipped over that. Where's the one about
Why did
running
I
the main
skip over
function?
that? That's so weird. Oh, let me do run main function.
Unless it's inside maybe it's inside the main function because we call it. So that to do is probably inside the main function. So let's leave that one alone. Let's ignore that for a minute. Keep going with the to dos in this file. So
create an org, add user. We got that. Create.
Yeah. Well, all of these are inside the fake GitHub, so that's good.
Okay.
But if you go to here, we go this one, right? So here we want to assert that user is indeed in team. So what I suggest we do is we ask this .github for the users in the team.
Okay.
And then we assert that it includes... so what are we going to ask this .github? Let's say get users, this .github dot get users in team. Or get members of. And then pass it to team.
Like that?
Almost. I would spell members with an extra M.
Camel case. Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah. And then pass that to team.
And then this is just, I don't have to type it. I just say team?
Yeah.
I don't have to give it a type? But...
No, not on the way in. It's when you receive it that you have to give it a type. So that's going to give us the members of the team. But we want to add an assertion here. So we could just use the default
assert
node assertion. So let me just find the one for
this .github get members of dot
contains. We've got contains. I think. Well, what we can definitely use for now is just the straight up assert function, and we'll use the array true false thing. So if we assume that get members of team, Blaise, do the this world thing on the function. Do you remember that?
Okay. Yes.
And then we'll get some.
This thing, right?
No, up. And the function that's passed into then user should still be in
right,
team.
right, of course. Sorry about that.
So just before, there you go. Do you feel like the iterations are a bit short? I feel like a minute left for Blaise to type.
It used to be 7 minutes, but by default it's 5.
Jumping back to a default, isn't it? Right, there we go. So now we get the highlighting. Why not store the result of this in a const, Blaise? So do const users equals, and then this line, this .github.get members of team.
Oh, okay.
Store it in a const. This const users. It's a little c for const.
Small letter, like CON.
Const users equals. Yeah. And then on the next line, write...
Oh, is it
users or user?
Users, because this is all the users who are members of the team, but this is the... No,
oh,
leave
so
that,
you're defining...
leave that one.
Sorry.
Leave
yes,
that one.
yes.
And then what we're going to do on the next line is we're going to check that user is in this list of users.
Okay.
So
assert users.
Assert users dot include...
oh, this is a dictionary, though. An array, isn't it? Or should I not?
Exactly, it's going to be an array, but we'll have to fix that on the. Don't do it here. Don't worry about it. We'll fix it in a minute. So just call assert, little a assert.
Dot. Oh no, comma.
Yeah, no, just it's a function, so just open brackets.
And then. No members found as the message?
So no, it's open parens round brackets, Blaise, and then you can say users dot includes, and then open brackets user. So again, round brackets.
Oh, round bracket. Okay.
There you go. Okay, so you've got a couple of undefined methods. If you do your command dot thing on assert, it should allow you to add the import for assert, which is a.
Should it not be console.assert?
No, because console
assert is just a
printing out to the screen.
Yeah, assert is just
it's like a way of saying if.
Part of a library. So what it's actually going to do is if the user, if the assert function is passed something that is not true, so users.includes returns a boolean, true or false, and it'll return true if the user is in that array of users, and if the user is not in that array of users, it'll return false. And if the assert function receives a false value, it will throw an exception. It'll go bah, and then Cucumber will fail this step.
So don't we want to add that failing message?
Yeah, so the failing message would be nice. Are we allowed to do that in assert? I don't use this assertion library much. We'll refactor to use a fancy one. Yes, yes, we can.
W3 schools, and that's a comma with parentheses after the user.
Yes.
After like there.
Yeah, the second parameter. Yeah, perfect.
So
and you can say
and then...
expected user. No, one more parenthesis out. Blaise.
Oh, right. Sorry.
That's it. And you can say expected user to be in users.
Shouldn't it also be in like those kind of things?
Yes, it should. It should be in quotes.
Somehow that doesn't look like I'm getting a squiggly.
Wouldn't it just say no users found?
No, because we've given it a specific user. So basically we're saying expected user. You know, we could, for example,
no user.
We could say something like
in team.
Could not find
yes.
User user in excuse me in team
I think you need spaces, yes. Shouldn't there be a space between the yes there?
So I don't have my strings formatted properly. Maybe I need to put, oh, is it a question mark? Value?
I think that's fine. What do you say, Matt?
It doesn't like the squig.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry, my son's just wandered in and distracted me a bit. I think with the thing is with assert is it takes a single string as an argument, so we'll have to format that string. There's a way. Can I show you how you do that?
Sure.
If you change these to backticks, then you're allowed to do like interpolation. So you can do.
Oh, okay.
Like this.
Yeah. Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, this is cool. This is something that this is something called string interpolation, which is a really useful trick that most languages support. Yeah, they just tend to do it a bit differently.
I'm not finished though, because that last thing should also be a backtick.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, right.
Sorry, I've reformatted it automatically.
That's okay. That looks fine.
Yeah. So the thing we still need to do on here, Blaise, is, it's Kate's going to be next driver, but we still need to actually define the get members of function and move the to do into that, and we're gonna have to change the shape of the to do now because it's a little bit different. It doesn't, what we actually needed to do, which is to get members of team. So are we swapping drivers?
I see. Right.
We're swapping drivers.
I guess, yeah. Who's driving next?
So do I click on quick fix?
Shall I make it 7 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh God, it's already 9:15 though.
Yes.
Oh.
This would be the last one.
All right.
All right.
Let's just do
quick
one.
Fix. Did I do something?
Yeah, go for it, Kate. That sounds great.
Sure.
But I did. Where do I check whether I did it or not?
I'm sorry.
It should have. It should lose the red highlighting underneath the method name if.
Yeah, the squiggly lines will go away.
So it's Control plus or Control dot. What do I press?
Yeah, I don't know. It's Command dot on a Mac.
Declare method.
Yes.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
I did it.
And then if you Control click on the method, it will take you to the implementation of the method. And we're throwing an error saying method not implemented. So let's change that for a to do that says to do query for members of team.
Nice. So here.
So
do I take out this whole part?
Yeah.
No. So where it says method not implemented, in those quotes,
we don't want to throw an error though.
We don't want to.
Do I do this?
Yeah.
That's right.
Console.log to do. Get.
Well, we're going to edit this. Yes, exactly. Get members of team. Exactly.
Beautiful. And Kate, the other thing you need to do is this is new. Is you need to set a return type for this function. So, you want to, after the parenthesis there, go outside the brackets, use a colon.
Which one is that again? Colon is
two
this
dots.
one?
Yeah. Yes.
And then you're going to say that it's going to return an array of, well, it's an array of users, but at the moment we're representing users as strings. So you can just say it's an array of string, and actually, so instead of the word array, say the word string, but you had it right. So it's string,
okay.
and then the 2 square brackets says it's an array of strings.
Yes.
That looks right to me. I wonder why it's highlighting it in red.
It wants a space after the colon, before the S.
A function a function whose declared type is neither void or any must return a value. So we have to actually, so not only do we need to log here, we need to return something. So after the console log, just do return.
Okay.
And you can either return an empty array, or you could return a hard-coded array that says some user in it. So to make an array, just use square brackets. You want a space between the return and the thingy. That's it. And then I would just put some user in quotes, just because it's it'll be a bit more interesting to read when we get there. There you go. So that's an example of how this thing's going to behave. But we'll have to make it do it for real, but we're not going to do it right now.
Shouldn't there be some users?
No, this is one. This is one of the users. You could do comma another user to make it really clear.
Okay.
And to be a better example, we should probably use like GitHub style handles. So it would be like lowercase probably and no spaces in the name. Yeah.
Like that?
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
That's it.
Do we return? Oh, we would strip off the org. It's just the.
Yeah, because it's just be the username. Yeah. So try running a test now, Kate. I'm interested to see what happens.
This one?
Yes, that should be fine.
I've got a request language server provider. Any request failed with message extension via code TypeScript error.
Oh,
I hope that is not. Ooh,
I don't see that. Where do you see that?
On my screen.
Whereabouts?
It's live share error. At least they're throwing errors now. Previously, they just had errors. Now they're telling us they have errors. It's an improvement.
Then Aslak should still be in the committers team. Oh, I see.
So this
but
is
look at this.
This is great.
Yes, I also think so.
The one thing that would be nice would be if it was printing out to us the who we did find in the team.
Okay.
Do you agree?
So console.log here.
Well,
I guess so.
So this message that we're seeing here, could not find user Aslak in team committers, is the message that we wrote a few minutes ago in those backtick quotes. So it's our custom assertion message.
Right.
And we could replace it with we could augment it to also print out who we did find in the team committers.
Oh.
So here console.log.
No, if you scroll down to where we wrote the assert line,
okay.
it's down on line 108.
Right. So in 108 then, where it says could not find, you could say, don't erase it. It's quite nice.
No, I'm not erasing it. I'm copying.
Oh, okay.
Well, you're just going to extend it, Kate, rather than
you're going to add some text to it.
You're just going to make it say more stuff.
Basically, we're saying we could not find user, but we could list the users that we did find. So we could say right.
Perfect.
Right. Perfect. Backtick. Excuse me, not backtick. Colon. Right. Dollar. Curly brackets. And then what was the name of that method again?
They're called users.
Well,
you've got them in your users variable, Kate, that you defined on line 105.
Oh, okay, perfect.
I don't know how that's going to print out, but try it. Let's try it. Save that and run the tests.
What did I do now? I pressed the button. I don't know.
Oh, but you don't want to delete the S.
Oh, is that what I did?
Perfect, that's good.
Users found Aslak.
So if you could run it now.
Oh yeah, so that was because it was printing out the user rather than the users. There we go. Users found, some user, another user. See, that's a really helpful... So I always think when you're doing TDD, right, when you watch the test fail, you want to think about, like, we're fitting a warning light to the system now. Yes. What's the label on the warning light? So when it flashes in 3 years and somebody's like, oh, I don't know, why is this broken? You've got a really clear message for them about what's broken and why. So do we like our warning light now?
I can see everything that I typed on the screen. That's super.
We can
Some user, another user.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We can lose the to-do on line 111 because we've done it.
We did something.
Yeah, we've actually fitted our assertion to the test. We're not going to need to change this bit at all.
This entire line?
Yeah, just get rid of it. It's done.
The whole line? And everything in the line?
The whole thing. We literally have tick it off your list, exactly.
So should we...
I think this is a good time to make a commit.
Yes. I'm super impressed. We ticked something off the to-do list. That always feels good. I love to-do lists.
Right, so what did we do? We started to design the API, the interface for our GitHub port. Is it okay to use the word port?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
If you're happy with it,
well, port.
It's like potato.
I mean, it can mean different things.
Tomato. Yeah. To me, it's all Greek.
And I'll push that up. Great. So, what we can do next week is where we've got, like, we've hard coded some user.
Right.
Actually, we know who the users are in the team because we're going to create a team here. We're going to create a user. We're going to add some users to the team. We can do all of this in this class because this is a fake implementation of GitHub, right? So we can just have like this dot teams equals blah, and we can just do it in here. It's like an in-memory GitHub is maybe a better name for it. And so that's what we'll do next week, and we can actually get this to. We can probably get this test to start passing.
Yes, green is good.
Amazing.
I mean, I do like red, but green is better.
All right.
So
should we jump to the retro screen?
Yes.
We've got a few minutes for
commit.
that.
We have to commit.
I did it. I think I've done the commit.
Oh.
I think you've done it.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
there's
Okay.
one
What was the
little
name that you said you did? What was the word
Port.
you used?
Port.
In the,
Port.
yes,
P-O-R-T.
before port?
Yeah, so it's ports and adapters is the other name for hexagonal architecture. So you think about
Yes,
how you
but
can
what
plug
did
adapters
you call
in.
it before
Sorry.
port? Like, what was the thing
Hexagonal.
you typed in there?
I don't know what you mean. In the
Your
commit
commit
message.
message.
Well, we
yes.
can look at my commit message here. Started to design the interface for our GitHub port.
Started to design the interface for our GitHub port. Okay, got it. Because I'm updating the what did we do
Right.
on the retro. So we didn't remember to run npm run build and compile JavaScript before commit, but it turned out okay, I guess.
Yeah, well, we're not trying to push it to. I mean, that's when we want to deploy it to production, isn't it? So, when we want to actually test it as a GitHub action, and at the moment we're still just like developing it, so it probably doesn't really matter that that we didn't do that. I'm trying to find my Miro window so I can show it on the screen.
And is the retro part? The retro is part of the recording, right?
Yeah, normally I record it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. So where are we in the? Oh, in the
Blaise
Miro board.
isn't there.
Wow, where
Just
are we in
find
the
me.
Miro board? Okay,
Here I am.
I'm lost.
Can't you find me?
Well, you seem to be
Hit the-
over the.
Hit the megaphone, no? Oh.
Are you
Yes,
are
you
you
are.
are you
You're
looking at
wandering
retro
about it.
stuff, Kate? Because I can't see it. I'm gonna refresh my browser. I think it's gone mad.
I think you're...
I can see Davey back. See, they don't have any
it all
tooltips.
disappeared.
It's like,
Okay, right, good.
can you see me?
Yeah, I can see your cursor.
Blaise, I can't see you.
Blaise has just jumped in.
While I was sneakily looking away. Okay, so we finished the poll stick or twist. So I'm going to delete that one because it's done. We still need to do the merge and the merge conflict, right? Or was that done?
I guess the only thing about the poll is we need to make a decision based on the data in the poll. So we maybe need to keep it hanging around so we remember to do that.
Okay.
Because I don't know whether we've collected enough data yet. Like Blaise, you were commenting that we wanted to get
Demi
RT
hasn't
and,
answered either.
yeah, so maybe we could ping him as well.
Okay.
So let's keep it running. I suggest what we do is we stick to the same time for next week at the
Yes.
moment. That's the kind of, we'll just stick to plan A, but let's keep the discussion going in Slack, and then maybe next Friday we can decide if we're going to change the time. Sound good?
Oh,
Yeah.
we were supposed to run npm run build
Yes,
Yeah.
and check compile JavaScript before
that's
commit.
what I said. Yes.
Yeah. Kate said that right at the beginning, but it's all right.
We could
I
do
think
a
it worked out fine, and we can fix it next week if it's broken.
All that
Fair
stuff
enough.
to do with the merge conflict and clean out the clutter PR, you did all that, Blaise, right after the meeting last week.
I don't.
Thank you very much.
I might not have.
No, you
but I
did.
will do it.
You did
I
it.
did, right?
Yeah, you did it.
You did it. You can't even remember it.
I can't
That's
remember.
how efficient you are.
Well,
So this is done, and this one is also done. Correct?
wow, I feel
Yeah.
really great that I didn't forget.
You did it right away. It was
That's
beautiful.
great. Yeah.
Cool. the best time to do something is now.
Yes.
I find anything that I have to remember, I don't like that, because that's just like I need to remember to do it, and it's like I'm distracted. So do we want to point out one thing that we would like to change only? So not what we like. We've done a lot of positives the past few weeks. So let's look at improvements. Is there anything we can do going forward?
Oh, we should
That could
rotate the
make it.
announcements. I think it would be nice to have different people, like the intro that Matt reads at the beginning. Why are we here?
As I was reading it out.
Preamble, yeah, the piece you were reading out.
Okay.
That might be a nice touch.
I love that idea.
So rotate announcements. And here I'm going to take away the tag because it will be everybody. And what about you, Matt? One thing you could change.
I really agree with that. I think that struck me as I was reading it out. Why is it me reading it out? Could be anyone. Could be any of us. And it'd be better if it wasn't always me. The other thought I had...
But you do it so well.
You do, and it's lovely.
Yeah, sure, thanks. But we're, what's that thing we say about how we're not always giving it to the fastest person or whatever. So, the other thought I had was just more folks at the ensemble, because you two are like stalwarts. You're here every week, and I'm so grateful to you for giving us that like resilience in this group. But it's a load for you to like have to show up every week and be perhaps worrying about, well, if I don't show up, is it just going to be one person on their own with Matt or whatever? And I think, when we talk about like what we're trying to do here, it would be really nice if there was like 5 or 6 people who all want to learn about open source and contributing to it. So I think we've got an established thing here. We've got a piece of work that we're doing together. It's not like terribly challenging work. It's we can do it. It's within our like capability to do the work and follow along with it. And I think it would just be nice if there was more people joining in and learning from it, really. Yeah.
And for me, the only thing, because I can't really think of anything, but because I have to add something, I will just say, if we started, but that's my thinking style. I'm not sure if that would be applicable to everybody. If we started with a model of the problem, the solution, but not the how. Like what you explained with the model that we drew. I really like that. To give us like, because we started with like a roadmap, but we never really completed that. We only did a few pieces. So I'm like always wondering, what do we still need to do? Where are we? Are we halfway? Are we like, I've got no idea what's coming or anything like that.
Yeah.
And the beauty, I think the beauty of Cucumber for product managers is the ability to see at any given time how close they are to completion.
Yeah, although we're doing this thing where we're keeping the tests like we're kind of like they're kind of passing, right? Like they're green, but we're just moving to-dos down into the code until we have no more to-dos left. So that's it might fool you a little bit to thinking that we're done, but actually there's still work to do.
And every time I think we can delete it to do, it's like, no, that's just changing
we're just
the
moving
to-do,
it down.
or it's like, so, I've got no idea, but that's probably because I'm new to it.
Okay.
No, it's a good point. I mean, it's also because I haven't thought about it very hard. Like I've done this kind of thing quite a few times, so I'm confident we'll get there. But I'm not thinking very hard about like what's the overall plan. And I could think about that a bit better and explain it a bit more, so everybody was clear and we were not just sort of, you're not just following along with what I'm saying rather than understanding what the bigger picture is. So that's a good action I can take to think about explaining that narrative a bit more.
I'm pretty comfortable going with the flow and just seeing where the exploration leads me.
Yeah.
But the way I think is always, that's always preferred for me to have like a big picture, but it's not essential.
Well, it's good that we did
with
draw
this
that. It's good that we did draw that picture today then, because that is
yes, I really like
yeah.
that. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I'll maybe try and flesh that out a little bit more for next time, because drawing it on the fly was a bit awkward.
But you did well, except for the mirror changes. So do we need to do any homework for next week?
Well, I can take homework to draw a bit of an architecture diagram. I hate to use that word architecture because it's a bit grandiose,
I love it.
But,
Draw an architecture.
How about a map? Or yeah.
What should I call it? Is that good?
It's
or...
fine. Architecture diagram is fine. Yeah.
And I'm going to kill these.
My wife, who is a proper architect, always gets really annoyed that we use architecture for just this, like, software design stuff.
Yeah, we're just doing boxes.
It's confusing because different people have different understanding of architecture. One person does it one way and another one just draws a diagram and they also call it architecture. So it's a word that's like agile. Different people say if you use Jira, then you're agile.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, the thing is, what architects do, right, is they create spaces for people to live in, to be in. Whether it's working or visiting a library or living, but actually that's what we do in software design as well, because computer programmers spend their days living inside these code bases, right? And architecture creates pleasant or unpleasant spaces for the developers to do that work. So there is a similarity there.
So this one has been on the list for quite a long time. Do we want to do that preparation, or do we want to, because I don't think we should do two changes in one session. Do we want to try out Blaise, the JetBrains code share next week? Do we need to do preparation there?
I'd really like to try the JetBrains thing because VS Code has been annoying us a few times. Like it's an
experiment,
a pain. Whereas I don't find the mob timer a pain at all. I quite like it.
Yeah.
So for me, the zoom time is not really solving a problem we have.
Maybe one day we do an experiment with it. JetBrains.
We can do JetBrains next week, yeah.
Do we need any preparation for that? Or is it, because last time we said that we wish that we set up things earlier and remember, Blaise? Because I had to download a big thing and get it installed and whatever.
Try and if you want to stick on for a few minutes, we can do it after this.
Okay.
I can send you a link and we can try it. It might not be a bad idea to do a preparation. That's like on an individual level, though. I mean, Matt and I don't have to worry about it because we already have everything installed.
I should also theoretically.
Well, we actually bought the product. So we own the professional edition, which allows us to share it with anyone we like.
But last time I downloaded and installed something.
Yes.
So theoretically, I should be set up.
You should be set up. Yes.
So we don't need any preparation.
Probably not.
Okay. Then I guess we can have a happy Easter.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool.
Enjoy the long weekend if you have one.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, sorry. Are you working today as well, Blaise?
I am working today, which is a little bit surprising.
Not very hard, apparently.
No rest for the Americans. Hey, all right. Thanks a lot for you both. Have a lovely week. See you next week.
Thanks, you too. Bye.